What if I told you that right now, while you're reading emails, editing videos, designing graphics, writing content, and doing research manually, there are people finishing all of that in under an hour? Not because they work harder than you, not because they have a bigger team, but because they found a small collection of AI websites that most people have never even heard of. And today, you're going to find out exactly what those websites are, what they do, and how they can give you back hours of your life every single week. I'm not talking about basic tools you already know. I'm talking about websites that feel almost unfair once you start using them. Some of these are being used quietly by top creators, marketers, developers, and business owners who would honestly prefer you didn't find out about them. But we're going to go through all 10 today, one by one. So stay with me because the ones toward the end of this list might surprise you the most. And if this sounds like the kind of content that could genuinely change how you work, go ahead and hit that like button right now and subscribe to AI Unlocked Official. We break down the most powerful AI tools and ideas in a way that actually makes sense for real people. Now let's get into it. The first website on this list is one you may have already heard of, but chances are you're using it at about 20% of its actual power. ChatGPT. Most people open it, type a basic question, get a basic answer, and close the tab. But the people saving hours every week with ChatGPT are doing something completely different. They're using it as a thinking partner. They give it context, assign it roles, and build entire workflows inside a single conversation. They're writing full email sequences, generating business plans, summarizing hour-long meetings into bullet points, writing and debugging code, and even practicing for job interviews all inside one tool. The difference between someone who saves 2 hours a day with ChatGPT and someone who saves 10 minutes is almost entirely about how they use it. And once you understand that distinction, everything changes. Now here's where it starts to get interesting. The second website is something that designers, marketers, and content creators are quietly using to produce work that used to take days. Midjourney. If you've ever spent hours looking for the right image or paid a designer for a concept that wasn't quite what you imagined, Midjourney is going to feel like a superpower. You describe what you want in plain language, and it generates stunning, professional quality images in seconds. Product mockups, social media visuals, concept art, brand imagery. The quality has reached a point where most people genuinely cannot tell the difference between AI-generated and professionally designed work. And for creators and entrepreneurs working alone, that gap is worth hours every single week. But what if you need video, not just images? That's where the third website comes in, and this one genuinely shocked me when I first used it. Runway ML is an AI video platform that lets you do things that used to require a full post-production team. Remove backgrounds from footage instantly, generate short video clips from a text description, edit footage by simply editing a transcript. The barrier between having an idea and having a finished video has never been lower, and Runway is a big reason why. Small creators are now producing content that looks like it came from a studio, and they're doing it alone in a fraction of the time. Here's something worth thinking about. Every tool on this list removes a specific bottleneck that used to slow people down. And the fourth website removes one of the biggest bottlenecks of all, getting your thoughts organized. Notion AI takes everything people already love about Notion and adds an AI layer on top of it. You can ask it to summarize a long document, turn rough notes into a structured plan, generate a project outline from a single sentence, or write a first draft of something directly inside your workspace. For anyone who manages projects, writes content, runs a team, or just has too many ideas and not enough structure, Notion AI is the kind of tool that makes you wonder how you ever worked without it. Now keep watching because the next one might be the most underrated tool on this entire list. Most people have never heard of it, but once you see what it does, you'll understand immediately why the people who know about it don't talk about it much. ElevenLabs is an AI voice platform, and it is genuinely one of the most impressive things I've ever seen built with artificial intelligence. You type text, and it generates a human voice so realistic, so emotionally accurate, that it is almost impossible to distinguish from a real recording. Voiceovers for YouTube videos, audiobooks, podcasts, corporate presentations, e-learning content. Things that used to require a professional studio and a voice actor can now be done in minutes. For content creators, educators, and marketers, this tool alone can save an enormous amount of time and money every single week. The sixth website takes a completely different approach to saving time, and it's one that students, researchers, journalists, and professionals are finding increasingly indispensable. Perplexity AI is what happens when you combine a search engine with a research assistant. Instead of clicking through 10 different websites and piecing together information yourself, Perplexity reads across multiple sources simultaneously and gives you a clear, accurate, cited answer. It tells you where the information came from so you can verify it. For anyone who does research, fact-checking, competitive analysis, or just spends too much time digging for information online, Perplexity changes the game entirely. Now let's talk about something that almost every business and creator struggles with more than they admit: writing, specifically marketing copy. Because writing good copy is genuinely hard, and most people either spend too long on it or settle for something that doesn't quite work. That's where Copy.ai comes in. This is the seventh tool on our list, and it's built specifically for marketing language. Ad copy, email subject lines, product descriptions, social media captions, sales pages. You give it a little context about your product or audience, and it generates polished, conversion-focused copy in seconds. Marketers who used to spend full days on copy are now spending 30 minutes. That's not a small difference. That's hours back in your week, every week. Number 8 is one that video creators and podcasters have been quietly celebrating since it launched. Descript lets you edit audio and video the same way you would edit a text document. The software transcribes your recording automatically and then lets you cut, rearrange, or delete content by simply editing the text. Remove filler words with one click. Cut a 20-minute recording down to 10 minutes in a fraction of the time it would normally take. For anyone who creates video or audio content and has ever felt like editing was eating your life, Descript is not just a time saver. It is a completely different way of working. The 9th website on this list is one that developers love and non-developers are starting to discover too. GitHub Copilot is an AI coding assistant that lives inside your code editor and suggests entire lines and blocks of code as you type. If you write code, you already know how much time debugging and writing repetitive functions can take. Copilot dramatically reduces both. But even if you're not a developer, this tool represents something bigger. It represents a world where the technical barrier to building things is getting lower every month, and the people who learn to work with these tools now will have a serious advantage over those who don't. Which brings us to the 10th and final website on this list. And I want to be honest with you, I saved this one for last on purpose, because it's the one that ties everything else together in a way that I think most people aren't fully thinking about yet. Zapier with AI integrations is not just a tool, it's a system. Zapier connects over 6,000 apps and automates the workflows between them. But with its recent AI additions, it can now make decisions inside those workflows based on content. An email comes in, AI reads it, categorizes it, drafts a response, and sends it to the right person, all without you touching it. A form gets submitted, AI summarizes the response, creates a task, and notifies your team. The hours saved aren't just from doing things faster, they're from not doing certain things at all anymore. Here's what I want you to take away from everything you just heard. We are living in a moment where the gap between people who use these tools and people who don't is growing faster than most people realize. It's not about replacing human creativity or judgment. It's about removing the slow, repetitive, draining parts of work so you can focus on the parts that actually matter. The people who figure this out early are going to move faster, produce more, and work with less stress than everyone else. And that advantage compounds over time. So here's my question for you. Drop a comment below and tell me which one of these 10 tools you're going to try first. Or if you're already using one of them, tell me how it's changed the way you work. Your answer might be exactly what someone else in the comments needs to hear to finally get started. If this video opened your eyes to something useful, share it with someone who's been feeling overwhelmed or overworked lately. You might just give them the tool that changes everything for them. The technology is here, it's accessible, and the only real question is whether you're going to use it or watch other people pull ahead while you're still doing everything the long way. The choice is yours, and it starts right now.